Hello, my name is Jallow, and I wear many hats at ASSUTECH and Widget. Some days I am the head of the growth and machine learning team, and some days I do way beyond that.
My name is Hassan Jallow. I run ASSUTECH, a software engineering company specializing in building cross-platform software solutions. I also run a financial technology startup called Widget.
That's a very interesting question. I wish I could answer that question when he is not here.
I've always been interested in how stuff works.
Because everything almost revolves around him.
So since I was a kid, I remember when I was a toddler, my dad bought me a radio and it kind of stopped working at some point. And then one of our neighbors opened it up and apparently one of the wires from the circuit board to the battery compartment was disconnected. So he soldered those wires together. Since then, my curiosity has taken me to open all kinds of stuff, including my brother's toys.
I never wanted to get into tech. I wanted to be a doctor. But then, I couldn't get into medical school. I decided to do math. A few semesters into my math degree, I had to do a course called Java. It's a programming course. And then I went to him to help. I did that because I keep meeting people and they keep telling me, your Hassan is your brother. You must be good at coding. And I had no clue what they're talking about. I had no clue about coding.
Well, initially I loved solving problems. I really loved working on challenges. Now, really, what keeps me going is we want to bring meaningful technological innovations to the masses to improve the quality of life in the Gambia and even on the African continent.
I think the flexibility that it comes with and the impact that it has. Some of my friends will be like, what time do you go to work? Or what time do you close my work? It's unbelievable that I don't even have to think about that. Maybe it's environment that ASSUTECH really nurtures, that I can come here anytime I want and leave anytime I want. Every single time almost feels like I am working. I think this is the byproduct of doing what you love. I can't just stop working. And really, I think it's the beauty that.
And all the people that work here, the hours that they put in, and the opportunities that they would have otherwise had, and for the belief that they have in what we could accomplish for ourselves, for the country, and for our continent. That inspires. Very fortunate to be working with some of the smartest people that I've ever met in my life. There's nothing good that comes out of this company that is one person's work. It's in fact, we're set up in a way that it is impossible for that to happen. So it's like teamwork is not even something we have to make effort. It's inherently burnt into our company culture that when we work on something, we just polish it. It just kind of reflects on the quality of stuff that we ship.
There's something interesting about when people are making decisions. Well, let's say Hassan is making a decision. He likes to follow his intuition. I think his intuition is so untrained, but then, sometimes he just gets lucky. And then most times, well, I have to agree, yes. Even though
I think I find a lot of joy in being able to work on something and make it a little better, making somebody's life a little better, creating more opportunities for people, and helping businesses thrive, helping businesses that address the biggest of their pain points, catalyzing economic growth for the population. Now, at this point, big picture, these are the things that excite me.
We have to find a way to make this reproducible. We need this process to be repeatable. And the whole process around decision making is something that machine learning could easily streamline. When we're making decisions, you just have input values, and then you make a decision. A doctor looks at symptoms of a patient and then arrives at a diagnosis. Hassan goes through an interview or a chat with somebody and makes a hiring decision. Goes through input and output. And the fact that you could use a machine learning model, every single input you've given it, it's not noisy at all. Every single input will give you the same output every single time.
Hard question, really. Mostly, if people ask me this, I can only remember the challenges today. But everything in the past, I guess the dopamine hit from the resolution of these challenges makes you forget everything. But I think There have been a lot of challenges. I mean, in the early days when what you're doing wasn't really understood, so there could be a lot of pressure from, family, especially not understanding what are these kids up to, man. You should go for your master's already, so this is very normal because your parents want you to take the least risky route.
We definitely share those challenges, at least the ones that he's mentioned. I think for any machine learning enthusiast out there or somebody wanting to get into the field, I think what happened is when he went for the Mandela Washington Fellowship, he just gave me a call one day and said, dude, you gotta check machine learning and AI, this in the future. And some of the challenges I had then was it was almost an underdeveloped field, not many tutorials or learning path to go through, so you have to pick here and there and put stuff together and make it work. And then from at a company level, you also need to get buy-in. They need to see value in what you bring. So as a machine learning engineer out there, you will have to face those challenges. You have to really show the business value in machine learning and data and how you could leverage it to answer business questions.
That's interesting. I think that for starters, there's a lot of material online that you can use to start with. So my approach is not to advise people based on the path that I took. I think that in the past year or two, there have been significant changes in the world, especially in AI, that probably will rewrite everything that we knew about how to learn to code. Like, I haven't coded in close to 2 years. Because there are people that can do it better, and I'm better focused on something else. But now I've started again simply because AI gives me a 10x multiplier in terms of what I can get done in such little time, with very little effort. So I think that the focus for the younger generation should be on artificial intelligence and the underlying skills that is required to be able to learn it, especially math.
Interesting to see that the best hockey players aren't those that follow the puck, but those that know where the puck is headed. A few hundred years ago, few people only knew how to read and write, and society benefited as a result. And these people rose to the apex of society. And today, when machine-to-human interaction is the most important thing, and at least it's coming to the fore, I think learning how to communicate with these machines, at a very basic level, learning how to code, but at a higher level, at least a more important level right now, is learning machine learning and AI, so that we could talk to these machines better. In the same way that people rose to the apex of society in times when language was the most important thing. Now I think in these times when our human-to-machine interaction is important, I think those that would rise to the apex of society are those that really know how to communicate with these machines through AI and machine learning.
When I think that, like Kontaros Teyama says in his book, The Geek Heresy, that technology is just an amplification of the goals and aspirations of people. Yes, there's so many ways in terms of alleviating poverty. There's people that didn't otherwise have access to certain markets or certain information. Information is power. Be able to equip them with that information and give them access to markets that they otherwise didn't have access to, and create for them a platform to get paid.
And really that's where Bridget comes in, that you could pay for goods and services, make and receive payments for the goods and services that you consume on a daily basis. What this means for that small business owner is now you have a bigger reach. Now you're not limited by having a store where people can come and buy things. You could be at your home, from the comfort of your home, and pay for goods and services, or get people to buy the products that you sell. This is also possible for bigger businesses. Now they could have a bigger reach for people to pay for goods and services from many parts of the world. anytime without the financial limitation of paying. I think widget is not really a feature that's coming. It's the feature that's here.
When it comes to inequality, I think that technology is an equalizer in the sense that if you have gigabit internet and someone has megabit internet, YouTube is the same thing. It doesn't matter, right? The computer is just a computer, right? So it creates an equal environment where people have equal opportunity to be able to thrive. If you wanted to manufacture a car in Gambia, there's so many limitations. If you wanted to write code and software, you can use the same frameworks and the same standards and best practices that were published by the biggest companies in the world, right? And you are able to compete globally because what you need to do that is very little. So I think that from an equality standpoint, technology and the internet and computers create that environment where people can have access to things that they otherwise wouldn't have access to.
Thank you for watching this program. Tech4Good was brought to you by Insist Global, the leading tech company in the Gambia. We hope you've enjoyed these inspiring stories showcasing how tech is transforming lives in the Gambia.